I've had this happen twice yesterday, so. We have a cranky CI. Sometimes as I load different things, the interface automatically situates itself to accommodate the different windows of content. In this case, when I asked for the Darren material, it threw a picture up, it's split into 3 screens. And anytime I want to, I can say, well, let's just kind of reset to a normal mode. This is the central thread. This indicates the central thread, where I can travel into the meaning of what this is about right now. This, again, means to travel away from or to something else. Again, the compass. So here, I might, when I click on a word, as soon as I click on it, it said, just a moment, and this quick reference icon lit up. When I click and pull on it, a menu pops, in this case saying that there is both a picture and a sound.
I am wondering, why are you here?
The idea is that as I encounter different things that I have a curiosity or uncertainty about, I can come here and see what's available real fast, real easy. I can say, no, I've seen enough, put it back. The light shows me where I was, and I can continue. These represent the different pathways, representational pathways. Let me go into something more meaty.
David, as folks in the handicap community, like if they're showing learning disabilities or some sort of that, seems like that'd be a fantastic application for them that couldn't relate to words one way, but could see it visually and understand better. Are y'all doing things?
What we're saying is that anything, any element or total construct of meaning needs to have alternative representations, and that there's no way to know in advance which representation is going to work for which learner. The learners have to find in themselves a way to discern what works and tune into a cloud of correlated resources in a way that allows them to go home, not so much or equally so that they come to understand this, but of equal or greater importance so that they have an ability in an environment to follow through on what's going on inside of them, because that's the most primary thing they can learn. So you're right on it. And in fact, some of the handicapped or disadvantaged issues might include things like change in the visual style so that it's easier, or adjusting the sound, or using the sound system in a different way. Let me so I've seen enough of that. It lets me know where I was. Now let's take gravity. What is this? Dictionary, encyclopedia. Notice that when I go to the reference menu, there isn't some constantly reoccurring mess of buttons that are general, but there is a menu that pops that's situationally relevant to what actually exists. So here is the encyclopedia entry on gravity. Notice how fast we pumped quite a bit of stuff in there. That has to do with file architecture stuff, which we can talk about. Say, no, I've seen enough of that. Put it back and move along. Or wait a minute, this is right out of the Earth Science 5th grade textbook, Scott Forsman. And frankly, I just read this, but it really doesn't appeal very much to me. I'm kind of in a hurry. Let me just see the key points of this stuff here. Now right now, for those of you that understand menuing, you know that there's a kind of a clumsy two-step I just went through to shift. Switch back to the central thread. Then I want to go, let's say I want to look at something more scientific, like something more along the lines of the roots, some more fundamental. And again, anywhere I go, I might ask for different kinds of resources to support my needs. Huh?
Jumped off before it finished.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to show the dexterity of the system that I can just kind of go in and out of these things as I need to in very intuitive and simple and easy to operate ways. Or I want to see something more conductive. And I'm going to explain how these, some of the point isn't icons right now. I hope that we're getting together, that the point's really, say on Newton, I want to look at the biography of Newton. Who is this guy? Okay. There was a picture there. Let's take a look at the picture. No, I've seen enough. I'm more interested in Einstein, right? Who is he?
It followed from the special theory of relativity that mass and energy are but different manifestations of the same thing. A somewhat unfamiliar conception for the average mind.
Now, let's go with something scientific. And sometimes I don't want to even be in this system. I'm going to launch an external that's related to gravity. This is just somebody else's program. It has nothing to do. The way that our architecture is designed is it can subsume any application running on any computer or game system and launch it, but put that launch so that it fits right into the structure of how the interface works, so that we can take on what's out there and connect it up to the way our system works. Take in what's out there. Back. So, Jesus, there was something about Newton. I remember, what was it? I want to go back and look at that. This is something that most of the human interface people have really been stunned with, is our ability to these two icons that are always present to show the kind of the context of what it is I'm looking at, are also personal path access points. So rather than having to use the structure and steer back to where I was, I can jump back to any place in my personal path like that. So for example, we were looking at the Darren story. I want to go back and look at that real quick. I don't know, let's go back to gravity. Quite independent without having to change the main controls. And I can, again, go back like so. Right? Now that I've shown you a little bit of how this works, actually let me take a second and with respect to the elemental levels, what we've identified is, I think it's 12, a starting set of different classes of reference or quick and immediate support that somebody might need. A dictionary for quick, concise support, thesaurus, author's notes, biographical information, etymological information, quotes, citations, speech, voice, music, alternative languages, encyclopedia, images, animations, video or sound, or simulations or other. So what happens is any one of those might be available anywhere. So again, when we went to gravitation, there's only a dictionary and encyclopedia. But there could be any one of these. And what would happen is depending on what's available, the learner would immediately see what choices are actually available. One other thing, and this is very important, we talked about the feedback dynamic. Let's say that with respect to gravity, I really wanted to see a simulation of it that was different than the one that was available. By holding down a button, then I can see what are the available choices. And when I do that, this window pops rather than the window that normally provides me with reference support. And here, notice it wakes up in a mode that says, I got a message for the people on the other side of this thing.